I experienced that I had transitioning from college to pro is that the game was faster. I think that was the surprising piece to me, is when I got there, I thought, okay, I'm good enough to be here, but can I compete at this level, right? And for that, I realized that the game was faster. Like there's no time off. Where in elementary school, you can play around and look good. Middle school is kind of that same niche. And then high school, you're like, okay, this is where I really figure out where I'm gonna be. And then once you get to the college level, you realize that, oh, I'm at the best of the best. But to make it at the final level, you gotta know that the game is gonna change completely. And when I got to that point, that's when I realized that the game was faster. The game was stronger, but it made me a better person. It made me challenge myself that if I wanted to be here, then I had to be willing to take the next step. The best part about playing at those type of level is it's all mental. Regardless of what sport you play and what level of sport you play, it's all mental. It has nothing to do with the physical ability. Because why? Because everybody can play the sport. It's how you take the mental game to make sure that you're at the top level at the physical game. And if you can do that, you're gonna have a long career. If you can't, your career's gonna end soon. Because it's not gonna be the physical aspect that I can't play. Think about how many athletes in every sport. It comes to a point, either mental or physical, something's gonna happen. Most time it's mental that pushes you out of the game. The thing that kept me in the league for 14 years, confidence. I think that was it. You know, for a kid like me going to a smaller HBCU school, coming out, no one thought he can play at that level. And when you think about some of the greatest football players of all time, they all came from HBCUs. The best running back in the league was the great Walter Payton, went to Jackson State. The best receiver to ever play the game was Jerry Rice. He went to Mississippi Valley. Think about some of the greatest defensive backs that ever came out. They're all Hall of Famers. And when you start thinking about that, you had to look at those guys and say, those guys paved the way that now I can get in the doors. And once you get in the door, the question is, how do you stay? And for that, you got to put everything in it. And you got to be confident that you belong there. As a 7th round draft pick, nobody expected me to be like, oh yeah, Donald Driver's going to come in and he's going to do all these amazing things. No. I was just a little skinny kid from Houston, Texas. Went to Alcorn State, a small HBCU school. Got drafted in the 7th round with the 213 pick. And then to go on to be the all-time Pac and League receiver in franchise history. That's a Cinderella story in itself. At Driven Elite, we train every single sport. You pretty much name it, we train it. And we did. We started out first with, it's just like we went to golf and football and baseball and softball and lacrosse. And then we were blessed to say volleyball. And then people start saying, hey, have you ever done Taekwondo? I'm like, nope, but we can work on that. And I was blessed to train in 2017. I trained the U.S. Taekwondo Olympic team. I was blessed to be able to train that group from NTA. And so Master Charles trusted me with his clients. He's never had all his clients make the U.S. Olympic team. And it was blessed that we was able to do that, the USA team. So you take it personal. And so I tell people all the time, regardless of what you play, if you play marbles for a living, we're gonna make that thumb the strongest thumb you can ever have, right? So that's kind of what we do here. And so now we really focus on MMA, UFC, strength and conditioning, man. You're not inventing the wheel. You know, it's the same old. But what we talk about is the only thing that keeps revolving is technology. And technology on that part is the recovery piece. Mark Pro would be beneficiary to everybody. We're not talking about every sport. We're talking about every human being. Because there's a lot of people in this world that don't play sports, but they do activities. And if I'm out playing in the yard and I'm playing laser tag with my kid and, I strain a muscle, the first thing I think about is, well, what just happened? I don't know, I just tweaked something. Well, that mom and dad may never play sports. Or if I'm out there playing Nerf ball, running around trying to toss a ball across the room to a kid, running around with a blaster in my hand, and we shooting darts with each other. All of a sudden, that dad slides on the floor, hurts his knee. So what we have to understand is it's not just for the average sport person, it's for the average human being. Have I ever had any exceptional outcomes from using the Mark Pro? Yes. And I think that's why I still use it today, because it allows me to continue to be functional. I mean, I think it's a proven fact that you have to be willing to use the tools that's accessible to you. And Mark Pro is one of those tools that I love to use.